All right, so today we're going to be replacing the thermistor and the thermostat on this dryer because I just replaced the heating element and it's still not drying. So this is the kit that I ordered. There's the part number there if you want to pause it and screen capture that or whatever. I'll also put the part number Amazon link in the description. But there's 4 components here. We only need 2 of them, so we have to open this baby up and see which one of these 2 that we need for this particular model, but it comes with all 4. The first thing we're going to do, of course, is go unplug the power and go from there. All right, the next thing we're going to do is undo this screw and this screw, and then also that one and that one. So all 4 of them, and then we can lift the top up and you'll see that the top slides back, and then we can access the screws to go in the front panel. All right, so I lifted the back up first and then lifted the front up. It's just held in by these clips right here. And then you can just slide the thing back. You don't need to disconnect any wires or anything, just slide it back about 3 inches just to access these 3 screws right here. I'm sorry, wrong ones. Not those 3, the back row. That one, and that one we'll have to do. But before we take those 3 out, we're going to take the door off. So it's going to be these 2 screws and these 2 screws, and then the door will lift upwards and then out. And then we can take that completely off. All right, now that we have those 4 screws out, we can just lift up on the door and it comes off. You can see there's slotted holes there that these screws right here sit in, and then slide down to hold the door in place while you put those screws in. So that's a pretty neat little feature. Okay, now that the door's off, we're gonna take out 3 screws. We're gonna take out this one right here. We're gonna take out this one and that one. And then we're also gonna take out this one, and this one, and then the whole front of the dryer will lift up and away, and then we'll be able to access the heating element down there. All right, once you have those 6 screws out, what you'll do is on this little tab right here, you'll push down with your thumb and kind of push it underneath, and then it'll come off. You do that on both corners, and then you should be able to lift the panel up and away. Once you have the panel up and off the front like that, you're gonna need to disconnect your safety switch here, which is right there. So just for point of reference, it's that switch right there, and the plug is in the back, and you'll just pop it apart. There's no prong to push or anything, it just slides in. So just pull it straight out, and then you'll be able to take it up and off. You can see those 2 little feet down there. That's what it sets in. Those are the clips that hold it in. Sorry, there's 3 of them. 1, 2, 3, you see them across the bottom. So it just sets in there and then snaps in at the top. So you can pull that out of the way. Okay, now we have access to the actual dryer element. What we're gonna do is we're gonna disconnect this guy. There's a little safety clip you gotta push right there. We're just gonna disconnect that just to get it out of the way. I'll just tuck it up out of the way. And then we're going to take out this screw right here, and then that screw right there, and then we should be able to pull the dryer element out. Okay, like I showed in my last video, I've got the screw out, and then what you'll do is you'll lift up on this because there's a tab that holds it right there, and then you'll be able to pull it towards you. Okay, but the problem now is that this bracket's in the way. There's not enough room to slide this straight out right here. So what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to, because there's 2 screws in the back right there that you can't get to unless you have like a little stubby screwdriver. What I did is, this is like really thin, kind of cheap metal. So what I did was I just pulled this foot up like this and just bent it down flat. You can just push it down flat like that in order to get clearance to pull this unit out. And then you can just bend that back in place when you're ready to put it back together. All right, yeah, you can see how I just bent the bracket down and kind of pushed it down flat in order to fit this out. Now we have access to the whole heating element. If you're replacing your heating element, just see the last video that I did. You can see though that this one's brand new. I just replaced it. You see the 6 coils in there, they're brand new and shiny. But what we're gonna be replacing today is this guy and this guy. And I believe this one is the thermostat and this one is the thermistor, but I might have them backwards, but we're going to replace both of them today. All right, so we have our 4 components here. We have this black plastic looking one. We're not going to be using that today. And we have this little tiny button looking one. We're not going to be using those. I believe those are for like a different model. What we're going to be using is this one right here. You can see it matches that component there. And you can see that it says L260 50 degrees Fahrenheit. That one also says 50F. And also it has the same type of connector, so you know that's the right one right there. And then this one here is our thermistor, which is a thermal protection. And you can see that it says 320F on it. So I believe what happens is if this ever gets up to 320 degrees Fahrenheit, there's something in here that will melt and open up, and it'll save it from going thermal overload, shut your unit down. So we're going to replace that and that now. All right, so I just took the 2 screws out and I disconnected these 2 wires, and we're just going to put this new one here, put the new screws in, and reconnect these 2 wires. All right, same thing with this one. We're gonna take the new one, set it right in there, put those 2 screws in, there and there, and then reconnect those 2 wires. All right, once you've got everything put back together, you can slide that unit back in. Make sure in the very back it aligns with that circle in the back. It just kind of slides right in there. And then put your 2 screws back in after you bend your bracket back in place. And then make sure you reconnect this wire right here. And then you can put the front back on, just reverse the steps you did before. All right, once you've got everything reconnected, go ahead and restore your power by plugging it in and run your first test cycle, and you should be good to go. Hope this helped y'all. Take care.